Good morning, everyone, and welcome to your Bitcoin report. Today is Monday, October 29th, 2018. Welcome to the show. Now, here's the thing. Bitcoin has been going along in a very narrow range of price action, and there's very little volatility. It was right down, and it was following almost within $5. It was going along like that for like the last few days, and very narrow trading range. It's very interesting. It's such a narrow trading range. Anyway, let's open up the charts and take a look at this narrow trading range right here. And here's what we have. It's going along in this narrow trading range at a price of 60. It was up around 6,400 was the range, but all of a sudden this morning she dropped. And look at these big red candles we got. She dropped down to 62.47 all of a sudden. And generally, when you're in a very tight, narrow trading range like that, generally speaking, the price action's getting ready for a move to the upside. Generally, it's a bullish marker. You know, it's generally, but this time it's all of a sudden turned bearish. Trying to figure out what caused it to turn bearish this morning, and I couldn't really find too much. Except for this, there was a Canadian cryptocurrency exchange that shut down, and they lost 913 bitcoins. That was stolen, I guess. So this was called Maple Exchange. And they're attempting to reassure users that they'll be conducting a thorough investigation. The market and Bitcoin could have been so sensitive right now to the upside or downside that any little thing could have twisted it. It might have been this. It could have possibly been this that actually sent it to move to the downside. And maybe some seller got a little bit nervous. Maybe weak hands. I just don't know. She's moved to the downside. I think that it was just on a line there. It just didn't know which way it really wanted to go. But it really was should have probably moved to the upside, but it moved to the downside. And so now that's what we're looking at today. But it could have been this here, this exchange shutting down. It's very much a possibility that may have made investors a little bit nervous. And this bear market's not over in cryptocurrencies yet. So that's what we got going on today with cryptocurrency. Now, in the future, the biggest thing that we got, the biggest hurdle that we got, in my mind, for cryptocurrency is the fact that the Fed is removing liquidity from the system in a process called quantitative tightening. And I personally believe that we're heading toward a deflationary period. Now, this is going to be very bearish for cryptocurrencies. It could be a little bit of a period in time where cryptocurrencies fall during the deflation. That's going to represent a huge buying opportunity if that happens. Now, on the other side of that, the Federal Reserve and all of the central banks on earth are going to have to go back to loose monetary policy again at some point in the future. There's no other choice. They have to. It's because of the way the economic system is geared. It's geared for exponential growth, and so if they can't get growth in a meaningful way like an industry and stuff like that, and if the world's economy is actually shrinking, then they have to get that growth through growing and expanding the monetary base. They have to. Or the monetary base will shrink, and what will happen is you go into a deflation. Now, that's what's heading our way, is a deflation. But in order to bring it back around to what they want, which is inflation. But here's the funny thing about it. They do want a little bit of inflation. They're scared to death of deflation. But at the same time, they know that runaway inflation is something that they can't fight. They can always fight deflation. They can always beat deflation. Deflation can never really win. And so that's where we're headed. We're headed toward a moderate deflation. And then everything's gonna turn back into inflation again. We got to wait for that turn on cryptocurrency. When everything turns back toward inflation, that's when cryptocurrency is going to surge upwards. But as long as this threat of deflation's out there, as long as deflation is environment is ripe for deflation, as long as the Federal Reserve keeps withdrawing liquidity from the system, then it's going to be hard to get that takeoff that we need in cryptocurrencies. But it's coming. That takeoff is coming. Now, if you can play the deflation right, it could represent a huge buying opportunity. Now, what we've just had and what we've just saw with this price decrease, this fall in the price of cryptocurrencies. Every time you get a fall in the price of cryptocurrency, you've got to watch it very carefully because it might be representing a good buying opportunity. And that's what we see here. Thank you guys for listening. Like and subscribe, and we'll catch you in the next show. Bye-bye, guys.